Cosmic Habit Force by Napoleon Hill. The goal here is to identify that which you want to create, your definite chief aim, and to bring it forth by cultivating and developing certain core capabilities and doing certain behaviors. And by behaviors, I'm focusing on mental behaviors, as in the thoughts that you have, emotional behaviors, the way you respond and the meaning you give to things emotionally as a result of cause and effect, and physical, the actions that you take every single day to produce the kind of results that you want. The goal is to become in alignment with the end result. And I refer back to the Robert Dilts model, where we say the identity, the vision, the capabilities, the values and the beliefs, the behaviors, and the environment need to be in alignment. The net result of this is the experience of cosmic habit force. It's being in alignment. We live in 4 realms of existence: the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual. I believe that when we are born here, our goal is to learn the fundamentals of life. So we gain experience, and we have teachers, parents, and others that educate us about how life works. And some of this information can form a sense of identity that may not be in alignment with our true identity, which is our soul's vision. And when we get to a certain stage in our life, we start to question the kind of life we live, and we say, well, this might not be making me happy right now, so what can I do about it? And then an idea, a hunch, an inspiration shows up of following a certain pathway, creating a certain result that may be contrarian to that what you have been taught. And by honoring that and bringing that forth, you feel a sense of higher degree of confidence, and you are able to work with the information that you've accumulated over the years in your subconscious mind in creative ways to bring forth a result that is unique to who you really are. You feel more like yourself, and you feel more alive. And then you receive another hunch, another inspiration, and that becomes your definite chief aim. And you bring that forth, and you continue this process over and over again till you reveal to yourself your true identity. And at that stage, you live a very purposeful life. You live in the spirit of harmony, benefit for yourself, benefit for others, and benefit for divine or evolution. This is the goal, and cosmic habit force can help us get there. One of my favorite concepts is the concept of flow, and this is the idea of challenge meeting skill. So we have a destination that we want to go to, the definite chief aim realization, and there's the journey to get there. And I believe in valuing both the destination and the journey. And the journey can be valued to a really high degree by embracing the concept of flow, in that during your journey you encounter many different challenges. And your goal is to embrace the challenges, to learn from the challenges, to value the challenges, and to educate yourself further through thoughts, emotions, and experiences and different kinds of information that's gathered on the journey, so that you can overcome the challenge and rise up to the next level of challenge till you complete and achieve your definite chief aim. Now, when you find yourself enjoying the journey, then experiencing flow becomes a natural way of being. And at that point, you have cultivated what we're talking about here, which is cosmic habit force. The goal is to operate from a place of real power, not the use of excessive mental, emotional, and physical force, not to navigate reality from a sense of heaviness. And this is something we learn along the journey of creating success or creating our definite chief aims. We learn how to work with ourselves and evolve ourselves so we operate from a place of real power, unconditional love, acceptance, and understanding of the laws of nature and how everything works. A greater degree of acceptance will help us move forward to contributing, working in the spirit of harmony, which is a benefit for you, benefit for others, and benefit for divine or evolution. Napoleon Hill defines cosmic habit force is the law which makes every living creature, every particle of matter, subject to the influence of its environment. It can work for you or against you. The choice is yours. So we work with a universal law. Everything moves in harmony towards evolution. Everything is evolving. And as a result of this, we can be in alignment with it, or we can be in our home unharmonious and misaligned with it. By not being in alignment with where the world is going, we find ourselves fighting against circumstance, not understanding that there is a divine order, there's a process, and part of the process is bringing forth your soul's vision. everybody has a purpose and a contribution to the evolution of reality. And divine is looking to manifest here on earth, if you look at it from a more spiritual perspective. And as a result of this, you play an important role. You, as the individual, are a valuable part of this entire puzzle. And you have a true identity that needs to be brought forth. And as a result of bringing forth your true identity, you can create the kind of life that you want to live and contribute to the lives of others and this evolutionary process. When you are in alignment with this, you will find yourself more in flow. So in this video, we're talking about cultivating cosmic habit force and doing the optimal things from a mental, emotional, and physical perspective to create the results that you want by being in alignment with your true vision and honoring it and making a commitment to yourself that you are going to be consistent with thoughts, words, actions, emotions, and physical things that you do every day, more and more so, to be in alignment. Now, in the beginning, this can come off as being really difficult, but as you get better of bringing forth your definite chief aim, you get better and better at this, and this becomes a lot more natural to you. And then when it feels natural, and when it's becoming a natural state of day-to-day, you just show up, and you're constantly and consistently in alignment with whatever it is you're looking to create next, then you have successfully found yourself in alignment with cosmic habit force. So it's really about being alignment. It's not a thing that you do. It's being in alignment with cosmic habit force. So he says the greatest example of cosmic habit force is the operation of the heavens. Stars and planets move like clock-like precision. They don't collide. They don't suddenly veer off course. And if they do, it's part of a divine plan. A complex system of gravity and inertia, attract and repulsion keeps things moving so precisely that for millennia, human beings have been able to predict the position of the stars and planets, the timing of eclipses, and the regularity of meteor showers. So the goal then is to become very precise in identifying and predicting your course of creating the kind of results that you want. If you focus on the different elements that are related towards creating your vision, and you track your progress, and you analyze and you reflect through awareness, you will find that success is a lot more predictable than what we are taught. Now, because we're all on this journey together, there's going to be those that are going to be further along in the journey. And as a result of this, they have shared with us philosophies, principles, and information, and I do this through my videos here, to help you realize that, first of all, it is possible to create that what you desire. And number two is that success can be predictable if you understand the elements that make it so, and work with the key performance indicators, identifying what they are, and looking to move those forward every day by bringing yourself in alignment with thoughts that are in alignment, working on yourself at a subconscious level so that the emotions are in alignment, and cultivating and developing certain habits and behaviors that are in alignment to creating that what you want. He says, if your dominant mental habits are thoughts of poverty, the cosmic habit force will bring about poverty in your life. If your dominating mental habits are of prosperity and peace, cosmic habit force will bring them about. There is an endless cycle here. Repetition of a habit intensifies it until it becomes an obsession. So obsession here, we're talking about flow, moving towards the destination from a place of embracing challenges and overcoming them as they show up, and cultivating new skill in the process, and enjoying the process, understanding that this is a process. I'm a huge fan of embracing both the burning desire and also having a detachment from outcome, enjoying the journey and the destination. The ability to hold two polarizing thoughts in the mind at the same time is experienced, understood, and cultivated by creating a goal and challenging yourself to enjoy the journey, realizing that there's many tools, resources, and information to help you kind of create the results that you want. Definiteness of purpose, backed by the power of cosmic habit force and enforced by self-discipline and personal initiative, can bring you the circumstance you want. So definiteness of purpose, creating that what you desire, making commitment that you're going to stay on the journey till you bring forth your definite chief aim, backed by the power of cosmic habit force, which we're going to talk about aligning with right now, and enforced by self-discipline, because it's easy to drift and get caught up in the noise of the different aspects of reality that may make us reactive. So we can operate this world from a cause-based reality, or we can operate this world from a reactive reality. In other words, when people's opinions throw us off course and they're not in alignment with the definite chief aim, we are being reactive. When we find that the external world is supportive of our definite chief aim, we find ourselves at the cause and we're able to work with the information as it shows up. Every action you take produces a response. Now that's thought-based, emotion-based, and physical-based. Okay? We're stimulating the external world and we're getting a response. And the response we get is data, and the meaning we give to it determines our alignment and our level of flow and our capability or lack thereof to bring forth our definite chief aim. And that's the meaning. That's the data right there. And then what we do is we educate ourselves on how to optimize those areas so that we can change the cause within, and as a result, change our emotions and our behaviors. Okay? Changing the way we look at things so that the things we look at change, and being in alignment with creating that what we want, the circumstances that we want. That requires self-discipline. Self-discipline is the cultivation of the conscious mind. So I believe we have three minds: the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the superconscious mind, in which Napoleon Hill refers to as infinite intelligence. And the goal is to be harmonious within, to experience the harmony in the external world. As said in the Bible, the kingdom of heaven is within you. And heaven means harmony. Harmony with the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious. And harmony within is expressed as harmony without. Now, the conscious mind has to stay guard of any kind of information that goes in and the meaning given to it to impress the subconscious mind. The goal here is to become in alignment, and the first thing we have to remember is that there is a natural order of things, and our vision, that what we want to create, is part of a divine plan. In other words, the vision is ours, and we are supported on the journey. And cosmic habit force allows us to tap into the support that we have access to along the journey. We align ourselves with the forces, and we join in the spirit of harmony with others to work together to create the results, as well as the other invisible forces, in which he talks about in the Sixth Sense chapter of Think and Grow Rich. How to use the cosmic habit force. Step 1. Create a clear mental image of just how much money you want to make. A lot is not a good answer. You need a concrete figure or a percentage above your current income. Now, it doesn't have to be about money. Whatever you want to create, the end result, your definite chief aim, it's up to you. Whatever you believe is valuable for you. What you put out always comes back to you. So you are going to return or receive that what you put out in the value, in the way you want to receive it. Whether it's love, whether it's recognition, whether it's money, whatever way you want to receive the rewards, you will receive it. But the goal is clarity on what you want to create. Step number 2, imagine some of the results of having that money: a new home, sending your daughter to medical school, a comfortable retirement. Doing this clarifies which of the 10 basic motives are driving you. The more motives you can associate with making more money, the stronger you can push to achieve it. Now, this Cosmic Habit Force excerpt is from his Laws of Success book, and I recommend you read it so you can understand all the other pieces that he refers to, but we're really going to focus on the Cosmic Habit Force. So again, imagining having an idea of what you want to create and visualizing it gives you clarity within, and it impresses the subconscious mind. Having clarity within and impressing the subconscious mind creates the burning desire. And then what we have to do is observe our thoughts, emotions, and actions to see if it's in alignment with creating the kind of results that we want. And this is where we educate ourselves and we evolve ourselves and seek counsel to ensure that we are in alignment. And if we're misaligned, it's not to shame ourselves, to just recognize that we have to optimize ourselves within so that we can create the results that we want. Step number 3, decide how you will earn this extra money, or whatever value you want to create and return. I've emphasized again and again that you can't get something for nothing. You must have a plan. So if you're looking to create and be in alignment with the divine, with evolution, then you have to have a plan on how you're going to bring it forth. And part of it is, what are you going to do? What are the actions you're going to take? And what are you looking to create in the world? And that does not have to be super detailed and extremely granular in precision of all the parts that make up the whole. I recommend having a rough guide of just a high level of what it is you're looking to create. Step number 4, write your goal and your plan. Include your motives for making more money. Instead of a statement like, I want to retire securely, write something like, I want to be my own home. I want to own my home free and clear of debt. I want to be able to travel and visit my family 3 times a year. Set a date for starting and achieving this goal. Sign your plan and make a contract with yourself. What you're doing here is you're making a commitment to yourself that you are going to stay on the journey, and you are associating whys to your goal. When I say whys, I'm talking about what is motivating for you. And each person is different. Everybody has different motivating factors. The goal is to identify what is motivating for us. Perhaps we're motivated by a sense of power and control of ourselves. Perhaps we're motivated by achievement and recognition. Perhaps we're motivated by feeling a sense of community as a result of creating that what we desire and contributing towards a greater cause. Whatever it is for you, ensure that you link your definite chief aim to what motivates you. Step 5, go back to your plan and underline all the things you need to do to make it happen that you aren't doing right now. Make a separate list of these things. So after you've created your definite chief aim and you've sat down and said, this is the reasons why, you can write down the reasons why you want to create it. Create a list and just brainstorm and ask your subconscious mind to present to you the various things that you have to do, certain skills you have to cultivate, I call them capabilities, certain behaviors that you have to do, that you have to change, you have to evolve, and certain environments that you have to find yourself in. Maybe you have to move to a certain country. Maybe you have to move to the city if you live in a town. What are those things that you have to do that you know at a high level that are required to creating the results you want? Make a list of them. And step number 6, start doing those things on the list. Some of them will be daily tasks, such as spending less money on dining out and putting out money into your savings account. Others will be longer range, but will require daily progress, such as going the extra mile in your job. You will have to bend all your efforts and thoughts to do these things. Because remember, we're bringing ourselves in alignment. Many of us have been misaligned with cosmic habit force and our true vision and that we want to create. And our definite chief aim not only is about creating the results, but it's about evolving ourselves in the journey to become in alignment. And what we'll notice is a lot of the habits that we have right now, if we're misaligned, that don't serve us, once released and replaced with good habits. And I recommend watching the video I did on atomic habits. I'll put a link in the description, as well as the power of habit. Once we bring ourselves in alignment with the optimal habits, we not only can create the result that we want, but these positive habits, these habits that we are developing, are in alignment with our true vision. And as a result of that, our next definite chief aim will find ourselves more in flow, as well as we'll have the foundation to create the next level of success. Every day, read aloud to yourself until you have it memorized. The things that you are going to do, your definite chief aim, and I recommend carrying a card with you with your definite chief aim on it. The way I do it is I have a definite chief aim written on my card of the net result that I'm looking to create and what I am going to do to create the results and the kind of service that I'm creating and the way I'm going to create the service. I recommend a concept from Napoleon Hill called QQS, and really meditate upon this. Your success in life is most likely going to be a net result of your service towards others. So thus we want to increase the quality of our service, quantity of our service, as in reach more people, and perform our service in the spirit of harmony. Okay? Looking at how we can serve others better and at a higher quality. If you do this and you keep evolving and optimizing in these 3 areas, he calls this QQS, the returns of what you put out will come back to you in equal proportion to the ratio of QQS. And then you can track it through your key performance indicators. So I recommend not only tracking the progress you're making to the goal, percentage-wise, but also key performance indicators, numbers, and various different metrics that are there along your journey so you can see the kind of progress you're making visually and figure out then if you need to optimize further or remain consistent on the journey. And this, again, allows us to track and analyze the precision of alignment we have with cosmic habit force. And then when you find yourself in alignment, what you're going to notice, as was the case for me, is you won't rely as much on the key performance indicators because the habits, the behaviors, the thoughts, the emotions, and actions will be so much in alignment. And part of bringing forth your definite chief aim is realizing your true identity. You'll be so much in alignment with who you are that automatically you'll be able to create more and more success. This is where we get the statement, everything they touch turns to gold. So another thing we have to remember when we are on this journey is to embrace flexibility of habits. Remember, the goal here is not to be rigid, but to evolve, to create the success. And we can start off with certain habits, and then on the journey we might realize that there are better habits that we can swap for the existing habits to evolve us and realize our goal even faster. So he says, be sure to make a plan sufficiently flexible so you can change it whenever you are inspired. The key word here is inspired. So one of the questions I get asked a lot is, do you remain consistent on your definite chief aim? Absolutely. For me, I've always remained true to my definite chief aim until it was brought forth. But along the journey, I've done many different things to bring forth the definite chief aim. For example, if the definite chief aim is a fitness goal, then I'll create a rough workout plan and a nutrition plan, but then I might get inspired and look at the key performance indicators and what I have gotten as far as results to switch my workout routine around. And as a result of switching it around, I'll actually find that my results increase. So again, the key word here is inspired. It is not to sway off course, to drift off course. It is being inspired to doing something else that is revealed to you through hunches and inspirations as a result of being on the journey. So when you stay on the journey, you're more likely to get the inspired action. But if you're drifting, you're more likely to get a inspired, or not an inspired action, but an idea that will cause you to get lost in the drifting. So an inspired action or an idea is received while on the journey. And when you are on the journey and receive this, if you act upon it, you'll find a lot of times that it produces the results you want. As you put your plan into action and develop applied faith, he says, infinite intelligence may hand you a better plan than what you have right now. Treat such inspiration respectfully, for it will help you strengthen your plan where it is weak. So we try to do the best we can to create the results we want to create based on our current level of awareness and understanding. And on our journey, we evolve. And part of this is the awareness, recognition that we don't know what we don't know. So we might assume that what we know is going to take us to the end result. A lot of times I found is I did not know how I was going to do it, or I was required to cultivate certain capabilities. But that idea flashed through me in a source of inspiration. And then when acted upon it, I actually uncovered something in how the world works that I never thought to be true. And that was a net result of being flexible. So by being detached from your outcome and at the same time valuing the destination, releasing and being in the now, you'll find yourself more in flow. And when you're in flow, you have more of a lighthearted energy and an unconditionally loving energy as you move towards your realization of that goal, and that will keep you in a state of flexibility. So Robert Greene said in one of his quotes, those that will inherit the future will be able to handle large volumes of complexity rather than being overwhelmed by it. If we're too much in our head and too much in the conscious mind, we don't allow the subconscious to access infinite intelligence. We have to realize that we have within our subconscious mind a huge repository of information and reference experiences from our past for many years, and that information is accessible to us if we query it in a proper way using the conscious mind, not from a place of force, but from a place of faith. The subconscious mind also has access to infinite intelligence, the source of everything, And this is where the inspiration comes up to get us to adjust course and maybe move in a certain direction to help us bring forth our definite chief aim. Don't express contempt for your hunches. If you repeatedly say to yourself, I had a foolish idea today, you will soon have or be having only foolish ideas. Remember, what you impress in the subconscious mind will be brought forth. Instead, write your hunches down as soon as they occur to you, examine them carefully, and be sure you're not rejecting them simply because they involve something that hasn't been done before or because they don't conform to your current habits. Okay, remember this? We don't know what we don't know. The process or the purpose of cosmic habit force is to make your habits serve you, not the other way around. Don't let your habits become so ingrained that whatever useful purpose they once served, they now limit your opportunity, tolerance, faith, and enthusiasm. So the goal is to create habits but not be rigid. Again, embracing polarity. One of the most valuable things that you can learn in life is that all truths are half-truths and everything is and isn't at the same time. This is discussed and understood deeply by studying the Kabbalion and experiencing it through life. There are situations where you might hold true to something and you believe it with absolute conviction, and then you might find yourself in another situation where that truth is no longer true. That is actually a false in that scenario. For example, in a certain degree of success, you believe that by staying consistent on a very linear process with repetition produces results, and it does. Then, as you increase in complexity, you'll realize that the business world is a lot more complex, and that rigid, linear way of going about things actually limits you because you're not able to tap into more opportunities that exist. And if, for whatever reason, that opportunity dries up, you are now stuck in that rigidity, and you are unable to see opportunities that exist in front of you because you expect to see it from a certain lens. So thus, always remember that everything is and isn't at the same time, and all truths are half-truths. Now, even that statement right there is a half-truth, and that there are some truths that are high-level principles that you can remain true to for the extended period of time to create the kind of results that you want, to contribute in the spirit of harmony, be a benefit for you and others and divine in this journey you have in life. Efficient versus inefficient habits. Let's talk about these so we can have a certain degree of clarity. So be aware of these habits: poverty, imaginary illnesses, laziness, envy, greed, vanity, cynicism, drifting without aim or purpose, irritability, revenge, jealousy, dishonesty, arrogance, and sadism. These elements right here will create certain habits within you, if they are encouraged, that will steer you off course from identifying your vision, from bringing forth your definite chief aim, and honoring and valuing the real value that you bring to the world. You have a unique gift to bring to the world, and by experiencing these emotions here and encouraging them. Now, you can experience this through different stories and assimilations in your subconscious mind, and the key is to not shame yourself because you experience this, but rather work with them so that you can evolve them into more constructive habits like this that we're talking about. Definiteness of purpose. This is the primary good habit. It can make you more alert, more imaginative, more enthusiastic, and it increases your willpower. Faith. Let your mind dwell on positive ideas and on clearing away all negative influences. Now, this takes self-discipline, as he says. Personal initiative. You may have to force yourself at first to do things without being told to do them, but persistence will make it easier. So in the beginning, it requires inertia, and then you move into a place of real power because they have now been in alignment with cosmic habit force. Enthusiasm. Remember that controlled enthusiasm is your goal. You'll want to be able to summon it at will or shut it off when it isn't appropriate or might actually be dangerous. Self-discipline. This is a circular process. The more you exercise it, the more you have it. And then going the extra mile. We talked about QQS, quality of service, quantity of service, and spirit of service. The goal is to always be increasing in these three areas. Start now by doing something for which you don't expect to be paid directly. Go the extra mile every day by sheer effort if necessary, and soon the effort will be replaced by habit. The ability to go the extra mile also cultivates unconditional love. Unconditional love, expressed outwards, is received that way, but not from a place of condition, but that because it is a law. So again, these habits here that we want to avoid and evolve within ourselves: poverty, imaginary illness, laziness, envy, greed, vanity, cynicism, drifting without aim or purpose, irritability, revenge, jealousy, dishonesty, arrogance, and sadism, as stated in the book, are elements that will throw you off course, that will delude you and deceive you about the power you have within you, will cause you to feel more at the effect, will cause you to be identified with a scarcity or a lack of type of energy that will be experienced in the external world as a reflection, because the outer world is a reflection of the internal state. And by releasing these on the journey towards bringing forth our definite chief aim, by applying what we're talking about here, then what happens is we become more in alignment and find ourselves a lot more in a higher degree and for a longer period of time in flow. One of the things we have to do to really get good at this and evolve in the beginning especially is exercise our willpower. The conscious mind is the gatekeeper of the subconscious mind, and it is exercised by willpower, cultivating willpower. If you don't have a high degree of willpower, you might find yourself moving into a different direction and then getting steered off course. If this happens, you can just pause and reflect about the cause within and train yourself to have a higher degree of willpower. So this is how you do it. Developing positive habits, which can be taken over by cosmic habit force, depends heavily on strong willpower. So cosmic habit force is being in alignment with the natural order of things. And a lot of times we are misaligned by our negative habits. So by developing positive habits, we bring ourselves in alignment with cosmic habit force, and we tap into further utilization of infinite intelligence and the contents covered in the Sixth Sense chapter of Think and Grow Rich. Step 1, actively ally yourself with other people who can help you attain your major purpose. A mastermind alliance creates multiple patterns for cosmic habit force to work on. So if you find yourself in environments where it is supportive and everybody's moving towards a specific worthwhile ideal that's in alignment with yours, you'll find yourself actually adopting through state transference the thoughts, the emotions, and the actions of the collective. And the repetition of doing this will create a habitual pattern of you doing those optimal things to bring forth your definite chief aim. And then willpower becomes almost automatic in nature. So cultivating willpower is not always about using force, although I do recommend doing things like exercising and being consistent and meditation, exercising willpower to keep your mind focused. There's also other ways of cultivating willpower. It is through state transfers from others that are in alignment. Step number 2, develop your plan, drawing on all the members of your alliance for knowledge, ability, and the power of their faith. Creating a plan gives you a guideline. It's like having a map towards your destination. Again, you don't have to know all the details. You just have to have a rough guideline and honor that guideline till completion. And as mentioned, allow room for flexibility, because hunches and inspirations may show up in the journey to give you a better way, a different route. Sometimes on your GPS, for example, in your car, if you assign a destination, you might be given an alternative route because there's less traffic. The same is to be said through hunches and inspirations. Step number 3, distance yourself from anyone and any circumstance that can make you feel inferior. A positive ego does not grow in a negative environment. Remember that cosmic habit force causes every living thing to partake of the dominating influence of its environment. So now, always remember this. We are a product of those that we associate with, our environments and so forth. And while we can set up systems and barriers and ideologies to help navigate those environments and those situations, if we don't have to be there, then we can actively make a decision to place ourselves in a more harmonious environment. Now, one of the things that happens with individuals that aren't necessarily looking to achieve a high degree of success or realizing their definite chief aim and being in a spirit of harmony is they will speak and communicate in a certain way, and that can instill doubt in you. And to remember that that's just their projection from their subconscious causing you to feel that doubt. So if you feel that doubt, and it's not them being malicious a lot of times, it's just they don't realize what they're doing. One of my favorite quotes in the Bible is, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." There are individuals that have no idea about the impact of their negative thinking on you, and so the goal is for you to make the decision and be aware of how you feel. The goal as we form these habits that are in alignment with our definite chief aim is to feel empowered and to bring ourselves in a state of empowerment. And we have the ability to question the kind of information that we're taking in. As discussed, the conscious mind is the watchman at the gate. So what we want to do is we want to stand in guard of the kind of information we're taking in via the five senses and the meaning we're giving to it. Step number 4, close the door on the unpleasant experiences of the past. A strong will doesn't dwell on the past. A vital ego thrives on hope and desires of an as yet unattained objective. If you keep your mind in a state of hope and desire, cosmic habit force goes to work changing your hopes and desires into their material equivalent. So letting go of your past, forgiving your past, releasing resentments that you have to others or experiences in your past can help reorient you towards the positive of what you can do. So if you look at these habits here, these negative ones, poverty, imaginary illnesses, laziness, envy, greed, and so forth, a lot of these are experiences that we have had in our past in which we have assigned this meaning. Either we've assigned it ourselves or someone has taught us to assign this meaning. And as a result of assigning this meaning, when we navigate reality right now, we are assigning this kind of meaning to various different experiences and information we're taking in via our five senses. And this meaning is holding us back. So we have to change ourselves within by readjusting the subconscious mind programming through affirmations or doing these things we're talking about here to align ourselves with the positive so that we can feel empowered in different situations rather than feeling disempowered or getting swayed off course. Number 5, surround yourself with every possible means of impressing your mind with the nature of your definite purpose. Hang mottos on your walls, put up pictures of people doing what you want to do. You want to make it easier to create a mental image of yourself realizing your objective. The more you create this image, the sooner it'll be taken over by cosmic habit force and impressed on your subconscious. So we're having our environment habitually affirm that what we want to create, which is our definite chief aim. And step number 6, watch out that you don't overinflate your ego. So always remember humility and operate from a place of understanding. If someone presents to you an overinflated ego, you have a choice if you want to respond to it from a place of empowerment or react to it so it feeds your own ego. If you experience a negative circumstance or an inharmonious interaction with people, information, or environment, your ego can jump up and make the other person feel wrong. Always remember that the external world is a projection of your inner world. Understand what is being presented to you, take the valid information, and release anything else that will inflate the ego so that you can keep yourself in check. If you don't do this, then what you'll find is that you might focus on who is right rather than what is right, or information that is not related to your definite chief aim, rather to prove a point that is ego-based rather than bringing forth your definite chief aim. So there are 3 essential habits of cosmic habit force. There are 3 essentials of cosmic habit force. Let's talk about these. Plasticity. This is the capability to change. A good book to read is The Brain That Changes Itself by Dr. Norman Doidge. He talks about a concept called neuroplasticity, which is very important. The brain has the ability to evolve and adapt based on stimulus, and it has the ability to do so even in later stages in life. It also implies that once a change has been made, your new form will hold until a subsequent change is made. You won't revert to your old status. Consider the difference between modeling clay, which is malleable but holds the shape it is given, and mercury, which can take any shape for a moment, but it will never keep it. You can change by environmental influences or by your own decisions. So we have to first believe it's possible, and we have to release the grip on a false sense of identity if we've got it, and have a desire to embrace and identify our true sense of identity through our definite chief aim, knowing with conviction and faith that bringing forth our definite chief aim and enjoying the journey and implementing positive habits will not only bring forth our definite chief aim and help us identify our true vision, but will also help us realize the extent of how much we have been influenced by our decisions and our environment, and really begin to then honor a environment and decision-making process that is in alignment with evolving and empowering ourselves. Frequency of impression. Repetition is the mother of habit. One of the factors affecting the speed with which a habit can be adopted is how often it is consciously repeated. Many of you have emailed me with thanks about how I discuss the same topics over and over again from multiple different perspectives. And there's an intentional reason why I do this. It's the repetition of hearing core-based philosophies or principles that are deep and universal that are going to ingrain themselves in your subconscious, in your model and map of reality from multiple different perspectives to the point where the behaviors, the thoughts, the actions, the emotions are in alignment with that to such a high degree that it is very hard for those habits of thought, emotions, and actions to be broken. So therefore, repetition of the same habits, the same information from multiple different perspectives is very important. And this is why I've been reading Think and Grow Rich since 2004 over and over again. It's the same reason why I listen to Strangest Secret over and over again since 2007. And listen to As a Man Thinketh audiobook since 2012, 2013. The repetition of doing this instills the information and cleanses any kind of disempowering thoughts or belief systems that I've identified along the way on a consistent manner, like maintenance, to maintain the alignment with my journey of bringing forth my definite chief aim, cultivating and evolving myself, developing the ideal habits, and continuously bringing forth my vision and my true identity and inspiring others to do the same. Intensity of impression, finally. You can go through these motions of an activity or you can concentrate on doing it. Concentration builds the habit quickly. You impress the habit on your subconscious mind and will become part of everything you do. And this is why I always recommend valuing that at every moment along the journey, we are sitting on our own acres of diamonds. And our acres of diamonds is our mind. And how we believe reality to work will work that way. And how we navigate reality is going to be a net result of our thinking and our beliefs, our values and beliefs, and our deep identity. So thus, impressing and enjoying each action creates a sense of love and appreciation for life itself and yourself. And as a result of having a higher degree of self-love and self-acceptance and appreciation to what you have been given right now as the opportunities to work on, to cultivate what I'm talking about right here, will further impress the subconscious mind and cause those habits to integrate and ingrain in you at a deeper level to the point where you remain automatic. The goal is to become autotelic, and this is what we talk about at deeper levels of flow. Flow is where challenge meets skills, and one of the important elements of flow is when everything becomes autotelic, everything is experienced as one. And cosmic habit force is being in alignment with the universe itself as one, realizing that it is on your side and you are doing a service that's very valuable and very important. And by remaining consistent on this journey, you find happiness, you find joy, you find bliss, as well as you make a major contribution to the lives of others and towards evolution. If you want a copy of this mind map, the link is in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.